What's up, horror fans? It's Danny from the Lasercast, and I am here to do a quick review of last night's Fangoria Chainsaw Awards. What a great night. It's basically the Oscars for horror fans. In fact, the only way that this could be better is if we somehow got an entire auditorium filled with all of the nominees there in person and treated it like a legit, big-time award show. Because I think the horror community would be totally into that. And I think you could sell a bunch of tickets, and I would be down for that. I know I would, if it was anywhere in the New York area, or fuck it, East Coast, I'd be there. Fangoria is a magazine that I have been subscribed to for a few years now, but I have been collecting and reading Fangoria since I was, maybe early 90s. Anytime my parents would take me to a bookstore, I would sneak off to the magazine section and I would just plant myself on the ground and read Fangoria magazine. And along with the video store, Fangoria is one of the reasons that I'm a now 40-something-year-old horror addict. I'm 41, not 40-something. I should know this. Anyway, last night, David Dastmalchian and Peaches Christ, they hosted the award show live on Shudder. And Fangoria, Shudder, it's like a whirlwind of all the perfect storms of great horror content, celebrating the best films and the best filmmakers and basically everything that was the best about horror in 2022. And Pete and I on this channel, we waxed poetic about the year 2022 in horror. In fact, our top 10 had to be broken up into 2 videos this year because we spent so much time talking about our top 10. And it's one of the best years in modern horror, along with maybe 2019. But yeah, such an amazing year. We saw, franchises come back to life with new entries. We saw streaming take off. We saw first-time filmmakers create wonderful horror films. And we saw the return of some great horror directors as well. So what I'm going to do for this video is I'm just going to run down the entire award show. If you have not watched the Fangoria Chainsaw Awards, you can go and check them out on Shudder. But if you have, and if you maybe just want a quick breakdown of the winners, that's what I got for you. You had, as I said, David Dastmalchian and Peaches Christ as your host, plus Angel Melanson. They're kind of as the overall host of the event, being stalked by a slasher backstage, which is always fun for an award show. I think the Oscars should have a slasher running around backstage. You've seen this shirt before, but I thought it was appropriate to wear my Terrifier 2 shirt that I got from TerraThreads.com because Terrifier 2 was a big winner last night. They won Best Limited Release Horror Film, which was presented by Barbara Crampton and Kelly Maroney. Pretty good company. They also won Best Makeup. Damien Leone won Best Makeup. Lauren Lavera was one of 3 winners of the Best Editorial Eyeball Award. This is a brand new award that they gave out this year to several up-and-coming people in the horror space. Lauren Lavera, Sienna from Terrifier 2 was the first winner, and then also Mason Thames of The Black Phone and the creators of Alone With You also won that award. So looking forward to great things from them. And then Terrifier 2 won Best Kill. And I'm not going to describe it because if you've seen Terrifier 2, you know the kill I'm talking about. And I would probably have people banging on my door to arrest me if I described it in detail. At the beginning of the show, the first award, which really ended up setting an overarching tone for the night, was Best Supporting Performance. Charlotte was watching with me at the beginning. She fell asleep. It was about an hour and a half total. The perfect amount of time for an award show, by the way. It was about an hour and a half total. Charlotte fell asleep about an hour in, but she was super excited for this first award, Best Supporting Performer, because the winner was Madeline McGraw from The Black Phone. She plays the little sister who has visions of the grabber, and she was the best part of that movie. I love The Black Phone. It was one of my favorite horror films of last year. I think it might be the best modern gateway horror film. And if you don't know what I mean by that, I always see this question on social media where parents are talking about how horror fans, they want to get their kids into horror, but they don't know what to show them. And obviously, if you go back to the 80s, you have movies like The Gate and Monster Squad and tons of movies like that like Gremlins, that straddle that PG to PG-13 line. This, to me, The Black Phone, is an absolutely perfect gateway horror film. There's nothing in the movie that is so dark and borderline offensive or gory. There's no nudity. You get a really creepy villain, but you also have great kid performances in it. It's funny. It's heartwarming. It's a perfect gateway horror film. And Madeline McGraw was my favorite part of the movie. Like I said, Mason Thames also won one of those Best Editorial Eyeballs on the Future Awards. And then Jamie Clayton, the new Pinhead from Hellraiser, or the new Hell Priest from Hellraiser, came out to give Best Wide Release Film, final award of the night, maybe a spoiler because I'm doing it right in the middle of my review, to The Black Phone. Now, was it my choice for Best Horror Film of last year? No. That was Pearl. Speaking of, Mia Goth won the Chainsaw Award for Best Actress, because of course she did. It should have been an Oscar-worthy performance. That was presented by Adrienne King of Friday the 13th. But The Black Phone won Best Wide Release, and C. Robert Cargill and Scott Derrickson took home Best Screenplay, which was presented by Akela Cooper, who wrote *Malignant*, thank you for that, and also wrote *Megan* also. As far as other awards, Best Short was *Close Your Eyes*. Best First Feature went to Chloe Okuno for *Watcher*. Absolutely amazing movie. And Chloe Okuno, Hail Rotma. That's all I'll say. She is someone to watch in the horror space. I'm a huge fan of hers. Best Cinematography went to Hoyt van Hoytema, who did Nope. And speaking of Nope, Best Director was given to Jordan Peele. And Jordan Peele appeared on screen to accept his award. This is an Oscar-winning screenwriter, Oscar-nominated director, I believe, for Get Out. And he recorded a, thank you message for the Fangoria Chainsaw Awards. And I think that right there shows that this disconnect between the horror community or horror films in general and great movies is not that far. A lot of people are like, oh, horror films they're like this dirty secret we can't talk about. Meanwhile, Jordan Peele is an Oscar-winning screenwriter for a horror film, Get Out, and he just wins a Fangoria Chainsaw Award for Best Director. So Nope picked up some awards tonight. Best International Film was Speak No Evil, directed by Christian Tofdrup. And if you have not seen Speak No Evil, it is on Shudder. Go watch it. It will fuck you up. For me, it was the easy choice. I think it was either my number 3 horror film of 2022. Number 2 was Terrifier 2. And number 1, as I mentioned earlier, was Pearl. But those are just me. Another big winner in the Fangoria Chainsaw Awards was Prey. Released straight to Hulu, Prey was the latest entry in the Predator franchise. Probably the most horror a Predator movie has felt, maybe since the original. It won Best Creature Effects. It won Best Costumes. It also won Best Streaming Premiere. And director Dan Trachtenberg and several of his crew members were there to accept their awards, which was really cool. Best Score, Stop me when you've heard this before. John Carpenter writes a really good horror score. John Carpenter, Cody Carpenter, and Daniel Davies took home best score for Halloween Ends. Easily the best part of Halloween Ends. Leave your comments in the comment section. In what I thought was probably the most competitive category was Best Documentary. What an amazing year for documentaries, horror documentaries last year. You had Living with Chucky, you had In Search of Darkness 3, you had so many great documentaries last year. I enjoyed all of them, and the winner was Pennywise, The Story of It, which you can find right now streaming on Screambox. Excellent documentary. If you grew up with that original 1990 It, this is a great documentary. You will enjoy this. You will rewatch it time and time again. In what was maybe the funniest award of the night, Fangoria veteran Michael Gingold shows up. He's, talking about the fans, and the camera pans off to the side, and you see that he is standing in front of the Amityville house in Long Island, and they gave the best Amityville of 2022. There were shockingly many Amityville movies, but the winner was Amityville Christmas Vacation, directed by Steve Rudzinski, who also did Carousel and Carousel 2, which I absolutely love, so congratulations to him. Best Nonfiction Series was 101 Scariest Horror Movie Moments, which is streaming on Shudder, directed by Kurt Sayenga. Pete and I reviewed every episode of that show, and we got great comments throughout. So if you love that show, check out our reviews here on the Lassercast. Best Horror Series was given to Stranger Things 4, which I thought was kind of an upset over Yellow Jackets Season 1, which was the talk of social media all of last year. I know Stranger Things has the season's worth of everybody knows Stranger Things now. It's already Season 4. Yellow Jackets really captivated the audience. And, of course, Pete and I, we cover it all the time here on our show, on our channel. I think I covered all the awards. Best Screenplay and Best Wide Release went to The Black Phone. Best Director was Jordan Peele. Best Lead Performer was Mia Goth for Pearl. Well-deserved there. And the two Best Movie awards were Streaming Premiere, Prey, Wide Release, The Black Phone, and most importantly for horror fans, Best Kill was this guy right here, Art the Clown in Terrifier 2. All I'll say is, it's the alley scene. That's all you need to know. What did you think of the Chainsaw Awards? Would you like to see them in a bigger venue? Would you like to see it as a much bigger production? Or are we totally cool with these awesome 90-minute award shows on Shudder? I mean, I'll take them every year, but I think we can do bigger and cooler. Overall, though, 90 minutes. You got to see so many faces from the horror community. Radio Silence, Christopher Nelson, Felissa Rose, Barbara Crampton. So many people who, if you're in that horror space, you know these people from Twitter. You know these people from the movies that they produce, they write, they direct, they star in, they score, they do the makeup for. It was just a great night to be a horror fan and to see the movies that we love get celebrated. Yeah, you might not agree with the winners, but you agree that this genre is probably in the best hands that it's ever been right now. As far as the Lassercast goes, you can check out our reviews of Yellow Jackets Season 2, which we are coming to a close of, actually. I have new short reviews coming every couple of days, and next month we are getting into a Wes Craven retrospective. We're going to be reviewing a bunch of older Wes Craven movies, and Charlotte and I are finally finishing the A Nightmare on Elm Street franchise. We are watching our final two movies, parts 5 and 6, and then we will do a franchise ranking for you guys. So this has been Danny from the Lassercast. Please like and subscribe to this video, and we'll talk to you again very soon.